It's time to sit back and check out the RCWR show with Lee Sanders. Get fun, in-depth coverage and analysis from the latest in professional wrestling in AEW, WWE, NWA, Impact Wrestling, or the world of entertainment. From hit TV shows to your favorite sports like the NBA or NFL. All things music, movies, and beyond, while trying to make sense of this crazy world we live in. All while keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive since 2011. And now your host, live from the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? All right. It's so funny. What happens behind the scenes, that's what I think is where the real gem comes into play. I think it's behind the scenes, like literally before the show goes live, like literally before I went live. You can't see it, but my my studio light, that joint just went timber, and I caught it just in time, literally before I came on here, and I'm going, oh man, shit, like no, not right now. So it is so unbalanced, like I don't know what. It's the legs at the bottom. I've really got to try to separate it when I get a chance. But yeah, that was pretty hilarious. And the only reason why it did that is because the arm extension, which you can see here, it's actually touching the light. But now that I'm looking at the legs, the tripod legs, I can see it's not fully extended. So yeah, I got to work on that. What's up, my pretty babies? Lee Sanders with you guys. You're checking out an all-new RCWR show for this Monday night of August 12th, 2024. What did you guys think about this week's Monday Night Raw from Austin, Texas? Sound off. Let your man know what you thought about the episode. Number of ways, of course, you can come in with the comments. Always appreciated. You will have your name and I will acknowledge you, my listener, my fan. I will acknowledge you without a doubt. You can also sound off by casting your vote on Twitter at the RCWR show. By the way, am I understanding right that Elon Musk is supposed to be interviewing President Trump, or did it already happen? I was watching the news just nonchalantly earlier today, and I saw something of a graphic and heard a little something about Trump, Elon Musk. Did it already happen, or is this supposed to go down this week? Let me know. Hopefully, as you're hearing this, you'll be able to, pop in there and say a little something. Otherwise, worst case scenario, I mean, it's not earth-shattering. It's not the end of the world, right? I'll always be able to find out once we go off the air. Also, I've got a poll up on youtube.com/the RCWR show. Click on post. It's no longer called the community section. It's called post. I hate that tacky little net. Just post. Hate that. Hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. Mine's, I cannot complain. Pretty good, honestly. I'm loving this nice, good, crisp breeze weather that's finally coming into play. Oh my God, you guys have no idea. I've been kicking back in my car, windows down. I got the roof open. I'm blasting my music. I'm just cruising. I'm loving it. I'm loving what's going on with the weather right now. Honestly, if it could be like this all year round, your man would be in heaven. This is that type of weather right now where you go, you know what, man, this week is a good week to go get the car washed. Like, that's how I'm feeling right now. And I just might treat myself, if not tonight, I definitely might treat myself tomorrow and get my car washed and everything. I don't know. The way I'm feeling right now, I just might get my car washed tonight. We'll see how it goes. Hey, we're going to do a short show tonight. Not really much since last on the air with you guys. I know over the weekend, me and Tams had dropped a new episode of Wrestling with the Topics that is available for you guys to check out on demand and on the downloads, wherever you get your podcasts. So had a nice fun back and forth on that edition. Not to mention, we did do a Wednesday show. For those of you that's not aware, we did do a Wednesday show. We talked at length about Dynamite, AEW Dynamite, but we also sprinkled in some other little wrestling tidbits as well. Of course, I'm going to react for the first time to the passing of the Book of Man, Kevin Sullivan. I will definitely reflect on his passing. Loads more that we're going to be able to get into. First up, though, on the docket, we got to talk about this Monday Night Raw edition, which was mainly highlighted by a 2 out of 3 falls match as Bron Breaker defended his Intercontinental Championship against the former champ in Sami Zayn. That pretty much was our main event match of the night. It's funny, too, because by the time this match was underway, I'm looking at my desktop computer. I'm looking in the lower right-hand corner for the time. And if I remember correctly, it was at the 40-minute mark that we started to see the proper introductions and all of that. I'm looking at this going, man, we should have gotten this a little earlier. Yeah, we probably should have gotten this match maybe around the 20-minute mark. That way we can really feast on this bad boy, right? So, but look, overall, I liked the main event match. I loved it. I thought it was a really great. Bron Breaker is just continuing to grow on me every single week. I don't know how he's been with you guys, but I continue to just not ravel, but I continue to marvel. Yes, I continue to marvel and relish in how quick this young man is able to adapt to this newfound attention, this newfound creative attention, this newfound energy, because he's still a very young man, but he has to step up so fast in this big old pond, does he not? It's either sink or swim, and I tell you what, so just sit back as a fan and watch this young man continue to hit these bad boys out of the park with every opportunity that he's being given. I'm just nodding my head going, seize the day, young man. Seize the day. That is how you do it. And who better to play along with, who better to be his Huckleberry Hound than Sami Zayn? Yeah, I got to be honest with you, because we've seen Triple H and Shawn Michaels, whenever they would do these 2 out of 3 fall matches, particularly in NXT, we have seen them go, yeah, a lot of people are going to think it's going to go 1 and then 1, and then we're going to get to the final fall. But in NXT, we have seen Shawn Michaels and Triple H go, yeah, we're going to go 1, first pinfall or submission. But then out of nowhere, it's over, because now it's 2-0. That's it. The match is over. We've seen them do it before, so I was expecting for them to maybe pull that out of their hat tonight, but they did not go in that direction. They really wanted this to be a competitive match as much as possible, and I commend them for that, because honestly, I think most fans would have been fine if it would have been 2-0. But the fact that they went 1-1 and then you went to that final pinfall or submission win and it went in favor of Braun, I think if anything, the way you look back on it in hindsight, WWE, for their respective parts, they did a really good job in saying, look, not for nothing, but Sami Zayn was not a pushover. Make no mistake about it. He was not a pushover. There was a reason why he was able to beat Gunther for the IC title. There's a reason why he was able to have successful title defenses left and right each and every week, every other week, up until he came across Bron Breaker. So I love that they pretty much had played up to that and gave you that belief that, lightning can strike at any time here. Sami Zayn just might pull the impossible here. Watch out, because anything can and will happen in this 2 out of 3 falls match. So I love the way that they did this. Sami, I felt really, for his respected part, did his absolute best to bring out the very best in Bron Breaker. And Bron Breaker did not flinch in this moment. If anything, he seized the day. I love that finish too, by the way. That was one hell of a finish where, for those of you that didn't see it, final moment, Sami Zayn, he is setting up Bron Breaker here as he's going to the top rope. And then, somewhere goes down, run into a corner, like a headbutt from Sami. And then just bam, just out of nowhere, there was a spear. Just came from out of nowhere. I love the finish. It was just, damn. You just kick back. Damn, he did. Ooh, it was good. It was good. A little bit questionable. You could definitely a little bit. But you know what? I was fine with it when it was all said and done. But Sami made Bron Breaker look pretty damn good as far as I was concerned. Bron continues to freaking roll. Bron having a new catchphrase there. I was in the midst of putting the show together, and I look up a couple of times, and Bron at one point before he made his main entrance was looking at the camera, and he called out Pat McAfee talking about how it's football season and if there's any dogs in Austin, Texas. And you got Pat McAfee barking, and the rest of the fans, because they're watching this on the Tron, they're barking as well. And Michael Cole, I love Michael Cole. His timing was so perfect. He says to Pat McAfee, he says something along the lines of, "You're such a nerd," or really, like, "You're so corny," or something like that. And McAfee goes, "I didn't tell Bron to say that." So, look, if Bron naturally came up with all of that himself, "Hey, is there any dogs here?" in Austin, if he came up with that himself, I think they've stumbled upon something here tonight is my whole point. I think, we need to put that on a T-shirt. We need to market that. We got to push the hell out of that, without a doubt. I can see that every single city that Bron Breaker is in. You've got Roman Reigns with his "Acknowledge Me." I wish Dominic Mysterio would come up with, "Are there any dirty bastards?" And right, I wish he would do a little something like that. But no, love the main event match. Beyond that, well, that's the show, folks. So tune in next week. But no, seriously, out of the 5 matches that we had tonight, I mean, if there really was a reason to watch Raw, it would be for that 2 out of 3 falls match. Not for nothing, but we did see another encounter there between Randy Orton and Gunther. Very good. Love seeing Gunther come out there and saying to Randy Orton, "Yo, you ain't gonna get another World Heavyweight Championship reign. It just ain't gonna be in the cards for you, because truth be told, when it's all said and done, you're a screw up. You're a screw up. I mean, look at the history. Yeah, your grandfather a screw up, right? He goes, your father a screw up, and you're the ultimate screw up." So, oh man, I mean, woo. I was a little bit disappointed in that segment. Not from what all Gunther was laying out, because what Gunther had put out there was nothing but fire. Gunther did a good job. But I wish that Austin, Texas crowd would have reacted more to when Randy Orton tried to rebuttal and say to Gunther, "Hey, look, I'll be the first to admit I've made mistakes. Lord knows I've made more mistakes than anybody in that locker room." I wish the crowd would have played up to it more, especially when Randy Orton basically says, "Hey, I overcame all of those odds. I became a better person as a result." And, I wish the crowd would have, it just kind of reminded me how, I don't want to use the word detached, because that's not the right word that I'm looking for here. But it almost kind of signified to me, I don't know how it was for you guys that watch. You all can sound off. Maybe I'm kind of overanalyzing it here. I could be. But it just feels as though the crowd isn't really that familiar. At least the crowd that was there in attendance for the show was not really familiar with Randy Orton's history. All the wellness policy violations, the suspensions, going back and forth in the rehab, damn near about to get fired from WWE, all the antics. I mean, there is ribbing, and then there's the stuff that Randy Orton was doing behind the scenes that would go to a whole new other level of WTF. And I sadly do not have, actually, I can see some of my DVDs, but I can't see the name of the Randy Orton DVD. But I know there was a handful of years back a Randy Orton DVD that came out. And I would highly encourage, newer WWE fans, particularly fans that aren't familiar with with Randy Orton and his early WWE upbringings, to go out of their way and check that out, because it just really makes you appreciate the journey of, wow, this guy started off here and wow, look at him now. You feel me? Yeah, it was so hollow. It met so many deaf ears, I felt, when Randy Orton was touching on some of those points and everything. By the way, I wasn't going to mention this until later on in the show, but since we go with the flow, just whatever comes to mind, immediate reactions, congratulations, I guess, are in order for Randy Orton, as apparently and allegedly, so take this for what it's worth, but allegedly he has re-signed with the WWE. He's got a new deal. As far as the details, look, I'm not interested in getting into person's pockets. That's their personal business. But, I would imagine that as far as the years go, I'm knocking on wood if Randy Orton can remain healthy and everything. I said it once before, a long time ago, as most recent as maybe about 3, possibly 4 months ago. But I'll definitely go on record and say it again. Before Randy Orton hangs it up as a wrestler, make no mistake about it, he will become a 15-time WWE champion. I definitely see that in the cards for Randy Orton. I see him at least, so as long as the man can remain healthy, I can see him having definitely one championship reign, one World Heavyweight Championship reign. I think it's possible we could see him do 3. I think it's very highly well possible that the man could do a 3 reign before it's all said and done. So, but Randy Orton, I don't see him going anywhere. I don't know about you guys. You all can sound off. But as far as once his in-ring career is over, I don't see him going anywhere outside of WWE. I see him easily transitioning into more than a producer. Before anybody goes, oh, a producer. No, I see him side by side with Triple H, Paul Levesque. I can see him as part of the whole. What's Triple H's role again? Chief Content Officer or whatever. I can see Randy Orton, maybe not exactly in that position, but I could definitely see. Well, look, Shawn Michaels is pretty much. Wow, that kind of really got you thinking, doesn't it? Hang on. Because we got Nick Khan in the mix and everything, right? Now we know Nick Khan, that's the business, right? But like when it comes to mentoring, grooming, training, overseeing the future stars of tomorrow and everything, right? Yeah, we got Shawn Michaels down there in NXT and everything. But I dare say, I think I could see Randy Orton easily slide into almost that Dusty Rhodes kind of position. I don't know about you guys, but I could see him easily kind of slide right in there, working side by side with Triple H, Shawn Michaels. I could easily see that go down. What's going on with The Undertaker, by the way? I mean, for the longest time, we heard that there was an offer there on the table. But it seems that Undertaker is quite content right now doing the Dead Man podcast and doing his one-man shows and all that. I mean, more power to him and everything. But, yeah, make no mistake about it. I definitely see at least 3 more championship reigns for Randy Orton. And right now, Randy is what? I think Randy is a little bit older than me. I think Randy is maybe 45, maybe 46. Let me look at his age. Yeah, he's got me beat by 1 year, actually. He's got me beat by 1 year. He's 44. So I'll be 44 later this year. So he's got me beat. I always knew he was older than me, but not by much. I always thought it was 2, maybe 3 years, but no, it's actually 1 year that he's old. Yeah, I can definitely see him before he hangs it up, without a doubt. But good back and forth. Randy Orton getting ready to RKO the hell out of Gunther. You just knew it was coming. It was just a matter of when was the Viper going to strike. And then Drew McIntyre decides he wants to come out there and, what's going on here? Is he going to have some words? Is he going to maybe try to beat down Randy Orton? Because he doesn't like the fact that Randy Orton is getting the World Heavyweight Championship opportunity. Wham, out of nowhere, Drew McIntyre attacked by CM Punk. And we were under the impression there was not going to be an appearance by CM Punk tonight because they were talking about, he's not able to make it this week. He had travel issues. But here we are, clear as day, seeing him beating the holy crap out of Drew McIntyre. They're going back and forth. Drew McIntyre at one point getting ready to unleash on CM Punk by taking off his belt, trying to beat him with it. CM Punk able to reverse that, started beating Drew McIntyre repeatedly with that belt, sending Drew McIntyre off on his merry little way. Caught up to backstage. I forget the name of the girl that was interviewing him, but she goes, hey, you didn't have a flight delay because you were on the same flight that I was on. Matter of fact, we were sitting right next to each other. CM Punk, yeah, I told a lie, without a doubt. But I told that lie so that I'd be able to get my hands on Drew McIntyre. And, it's so amazing. This whole bracelet, right? Probably something that you could pick up at the Dollar Tree, Dollar General, or whatever. But just this feud, the bracelet, just the overall development of this feud. And how at the core, the bracelet. I love how CM Punk touched on that fact and mentioned, hey, for me, it's not about the bracelet. Drew can keep the freaking stupid bracelet. But what I can't tolerate is the fact that this band has my wife's name on that bracelet. And he's bringing up her name. My dog, Larry, his name is on that bracelet. And Drew brings up the dog and his whole thing. I mean, we literally watched CM Punk here tonight basically pull a Will Smith. Keep my mother wife's name and dog's name out your mouth going forward. So I can't wait to see how this continues to develop. By the way, I was going to talk about this much later, but I mean, it's a great transition when you stop and you really think about it, right? But you look at the main important feuds that has the fans' interest right now. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and how that is, essentially at the core, an object. And the sentimental value, the emotions that comes about, right? All that with a bracelet. Just think about that for a second. A freaking bracelet. As silly and stupid as it might sound, a bracelet at the core. And then you go over to SmackDown and you see what's going on with Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns. And it's all about that damn Loa. I mean, my God, to see Roman Reigns, who still has not opened his mouth yet since returning at SummerSlam. I watched SmackDown. He still has not spoken yet. He's coming in there. He's wrecking havoc and everything. Squares off against Solo Sikoa, and that was a nice little confrontation. Nice little throwdown thrash that the two guys did. That Loa is laying in the middle of the ring. And the way Roman Reigns slowly, methodically creeped up on that Loa in the middle of the ring. And then when he finally was able to pick it up, I loved how the fans and attendants, this is what it's about. Okay. It's more than just about, and those of us that's been following what's been going on. By the way, I thought that some of the comments that Dave Meltzer had made about the appearance of Roman Reigns, he's looking much thinner than he was in previous months. It's like, well, dude, let's see how you do when you have your leukemia that pretty much is in remission. You got to stay on top of taking your medicines and God knows what else, right? You got to be on a particular type of diet regimen and all that. And then on top of that, not for nothing, Dave, but the man did lose his dad. So I would like to see you or anybody else for that matter be able to go through all of those things, right? But especially the passing of a father. And just, no, I'm fine. I'm kicking back over here. I'm eating my buckets of chicken and everything. Life couldn't be better. Yum, yum, yum. Like, I mean, come on, get that crap out of here. Like, seriously? So that makes that Loa, like, it takes that object to a whole new other level. It's so funny because a lot of people were under the impression, and I saw some of the stuff that was being said on social media and in forums, and interacting with folks, and the whole notion of, well, this is it for the bloodline because, and this is it for Roman Reigns because, Roman's not interesting anymore. The only thing that was making Roman remotely interesting was the fact that he had the championship for so long. And now that he doesn't have that championship, he's irrelevant now. Like, this is boring. Like, and with just one episode, with just one segment, you breathe so much life into it and everything. Now we come back full circle. Loa at the core. Just wow, that. And then you go to Raw, wow, a bracelet. It's amazing. Like, when you really stop and think about it, it's freaking amazing. Trying to think what else had happened on Raw. Ivy Now, finally, and we kind of saw this coming a mile away. We just knew it was eventual, but Ivy Now turning on her friend, Maxine Dupree. Hey, she kind of gave her the warning shot, though, did she not? Said to her straight up when she ran into her backstage, hey, really don't think you should be getting involved in this. And Maxine's going, I got to stay with my friends here, Well, actually, no, they're more than friends. They're my family, and where they go, I go. I got to stay with them. And Ivy Now's like, yeah, I thought you'd say that. And she's got this big old smile on her face, but it wasn't a mischievous smile. If anything, it was just, yeah, I can respect that. Well, yeah, I figured you would say that. All right, well, homegirl, it's all good. Right? Kind of seemed it was something along those lines. But she showed her true colors when it counted the most. Final moments of the matchup with American Made. Every time I hear that name, I'm thinking about the Hulkster when he came out to his WCW theme back in the day, and I'm also thinking about American Males. Oh God, what a terrible theme. But anyway, I'm just picturing at that match between American Made as they were taking on Otis and Akira Tozawa. Decent tag match, by the way. Decent tag match. But for me, I was actually more interested in seeing what Ivy Now was going to do, if anything, to Maxine Dupree. And sure enough, she struck when it counted the most there, and essentially had helped American Made pick up the W. Not shocked by the betrayal whatsoever. Not really sure why the commentators sold it as, well, Ivy Now has joined American Made. it's always come off to me that she was always with the Creed brothers, that she was always in alignment with Chad Gable. Every single time, to the point, every single time Chad Gable popped up and he would catch Maxine chatting with Ivy, he would say to Ivy, no, 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 don't be talking to her. No, 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 no. She can kick rocks. Get her the hell away. No, no, no. Get away from her. You done here. Go train with the Creed brothers here. I'll handle this. So if it was ever a case where Ivy now was not down with Chad, not down with the Creed brothers, like, there was plenty of time for her to stand her ground and go, well, wait a minute here. I'm not really a fan of this. Hang on here, right? Her attack from out of nowhere on Maxine, for me, it really wasn't out of nowhere. I knew it was coming. It was just a matter of, were they going to pull the trigger tonight, or was it going to go down next week or in a couple of weeks? But loved all that stuff that was going on, choking her out. Good stuff. Locking in that dragon sleeper on her. Loved all of that. Good stuff. American made, picking up the win. Nice, fun little tag match with everybody involved. It was a Texas-style tornado tag match, too, I should add. Love the continuing development going on with Xavier Woods. I'm telling you, if you were to just compile a bunch of photographs of Xavier Woods' facial expressions, every time Kofi Kingston does the least little thing where the end result is Xavier Woods was not communicated to about XYZ. So this week, for instance, Xavier walks up, sees Kofi and Odyssey Jones. Kofi letting Xavier know, hey, just as Odyssey was there for them last week, they're going to be there for him in his singles debut match. And Xavier just had this look on his face like, I wasn't consulted to about this beforehand, but oh, okay, yeah, yeah. And then there was a question about attire that they were wearing, as apparently Kofi had been chatting it up with Odyssey Jones, and when Kofi sees what Xavier is wearing, Kofi says, "Oh, you're not wearing the da 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 da." And Xavier kind of has this look on his face like, this is news to me, dog. You ain't tell me nothing about what. I love Xavier Woods' facial expressions here, man, because that turn, you know it's coming. It just makes it so sweet when that turn happens. It's going to make it so much more sweeter when it goes down. I love this slow cooker of a build they're doing with this. Seriously, I'm enjoying these little seeds that they are planting. Even having Karrion Kross get involved, you know, some of the words that, first of all, just the way Karrion Kross has continued to egg things on. Love that. Love that. By the way, Odyssey Jones had defeated a jobber, basically. It was a squash match, glorified squash match for all intents and purposes. But frickin' Karrion Kross having a few words after the match and letting Xavier Woods know, yo, you see how Kofi Kingston is operating here? Kofi Kingston bringing in Odyssey Jones, trying to replace Big E, huh? It kind of got the crowd going, ooh, and on and everything. And Xavier Woods, you're watch his facial expressions. Watch Xavier Woods' facial expressions as Karrion Kross is talking. It's almost like he's going, yeah, you ain't lying, brother, but I got to fight you on this one. Like I gotta, I gotta stay face here. Yeah, And then Karrion Kross, a little distracted here. I don't know about that one, Tim. Got a phone notification there. Sorry about that. But then you got Karrion Kross adding even more salt to the wound, saying to Xavier Woods, hey, maybe what really is going on here is Odyssey Jones is being brought in to replace you, Xavier Woods. I love how this all is going down. Now, Xavier Woods, he's continuing to just nod his head and everything. Watch when Kofi Kingston grabs the microphone and he's talking back to Karrion Kross. Watch Xavier Woods' facial expressions. I'm trying to remember if Xavier even said a little something, but it really doesn't matter because just the facial expressions. It's all in the facial expressions. I love those little nuances that they're doing. It's those little things. It's almost like, I don't know how many of you guys were really paying attention, but when Roman Reigns had the championships, go back and watch Paul Heyman's face. Every single time. And it got to a point, I remember I had compiled a bunch of images that I had saved on the desktop at one point. But every single time you would see Roman Reigns come out with those championships, watch Paul Heyman's face. Heyman ain't looking at the fans. Heyman ain't looking at his opponent. Heyman isn't even looking at his tie, making sure everything is on point. Heyman is looking at the championships. I'm like, it's those little things, man. So I'm appreciating how they're continuing on here with the Xavier Woods facial expressions. There's going to be an interesting tag match coming up next week, as we're going to see Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, Odyssey Jones take on Karrion Kross, Authors of Pain, 6-man tag match. Very curious to see where things go with that one. That should be pretty good. Pete Dunne finally spoke, or a lack of. He was interviewed by Jackie Redmond. Hey, what's going on? Why the sour grapes there over Sheamus? Thought you all were cool. Thought you all were boys. Sheamus took you under his wing, and boy, that set Pete Dunne off. He cut her off right there and said, no. Understand something. I was an 18-year veteran before I even crossed paths with Sheamus. What did Sheamus do for me? I aligned myself with Sheamus. What did it get me? It got me a stupid name. And, Jackie Redmond, she's like, yeah, Butch. And he's like, don't ever say that name again. Right? Ask the question, what happened to Ridge Holland? Oh, man, I love the way Pete Dunne came back with this. I love the way he came back with this, talking about how associating himself with Sheamus was the worst thing that happened to him for his career, the whole trajectory from the bad name and just everybody that was associated with Sheamus, how everything just went 180 in a very bad way. And his whole message was, hey, he is a bruiserweight. And if he has to ultimately fight Sheamus, not only to shut him up, but to basically have Sheamus really respect him as an individual, then so be it. Kind of fitting, too, because later on in the night, Sheamus would cross paths with, who was it? Ludwig Kaiser. Sheamus was briefly interviewed to give his thoughts about the interview Pete Dunne had to say and everything. And he was, getting ready to make some very valid points. Ludwig Kaiser interrupting, hey, you and I, we're not done by a long shot. There's a lot of unfinished business here. Wham, out of nowhere, Pete Dunne attacks Sheamus once again with that shillelagh. Pete Dunne looking on at Ludwig. You want a piece? Ludwig, yeah, nah, I'm good. Rolled out. By the way, just going with the flow. For those that watch SmackDown, we got a vignette there for Giovanni Vinci. Looks like the way that they are trying to present this guy. First off, he's talking in his own native language there. And you kind of get this impression that the way they're trying to present Giovanni Vinci, they're trying to present him as a big singles breakout star. If you guys haven't seen the new vignette that's floating around on social media, I highly would encourage you guys, go out of your way, check it out when you get a chance. But loving what's going on here with this whole Pete Dunne, Sheamus. Let's do it at Bash in Berlin already. Like, I'm waiting patiently for this match to get announced, and I just feel it's going to happen as early as Bash in Berlin. That's going to be definitely a banger, no doubt about it. Rhea Ripley, Dominic Mysterio, Damian Priest, that whole love seeing the continuation there of the whole new era in the Judgment Day. Everybody played their parts so well. They've been playing their parts very well these past several weeks. Even JD, Carlito, all those guys really been doing a great job stepping up. Liv Morgan particularly getting more and more comfortable with that microphone. She had the best comeback tonight while she was trading bars with Rhea Ripley. As the crowd was chanting to Liv Morgan's sloppy seconds, I just love how she came right back within seconds. It didn't even take her that long. She came back within seconds and said she'll have Dominic Mysterio's sloppy seconds every single day of the week. And she pretty much shut that crowd up after that. I mean, she really has been finding her poise, her confidence. I'm loving what's happening with this girl, man. Loving what's happening with this girl. A little bit, I felt the talking segment there, I felt it was a little bit too long-winded. It was good, but I just felt it was a little bit too long-winded for my personal taste. But the way that they explained it, if you really stop and think about it, it went as long as it did because Rhea Ripley was baiting Liv Morgan and Dominic so that Damian Priest could figure out exactly where they were. And then we saw that great little brawl that went down. Now, the commentators said where that brawl took place, they said that was a concessions area, but it kind of looked more like it was a cool, personal little VIP box almost or whatever. I don't know. Either way, I love seeing the fight that was going on around that box area, but it did eventually spill out through the fans and everything. All that was great. No doubt we got the green light finally about a intergender tag match that's going to be coming up at Bash in Berlin between all those participants. We're finally going to see it happen. I think many of us were expecting that, and we got our wish now. We're going to be seeing at Bash in Berlin Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan teaming up to take on Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. So I'm looking forward to that tag matchup. That should be fun. Damian Priest having a match there against Carlito. Priest picking up the win. Afterwards, the whole Judgment Day tried to unload there on Damian Priest. Rhea coming out there, helping out big time. They got Dominic Mysterio alone, and they was getting ready to put a serious hurting on him big time. Liv Morgan was able to bail him out to be continued. I love this game of, you want to see Dom get what's coming to him, right? Right? You want to see him get what's coming to him. You gotta wait until the pay-per-view. You gotta wait until the pay-per-view to see him get his. Love that. As I have been saying on this show for so many years now, the chase is better than the catch. The chase is better than the catch. Other than that, just looking at some of the other matches that happened on tonight's show. So I kind of gave you guys two really good matches, technically 3 story arcs that actually was pretty solid from tonight's show. Uncle Howdy / Bo Dallas, very happy with what went down from last week's Raw in Baltimore. and the in-ring debut of the Wyatt Six. Very pleased. Looking forward to the next chapter for the Wyatt Six and everything. Wasn't there a female? Yeah, Damage Control taking on. Check this out. Shayna Baszler, Sonya Deville, Zoey Stark. Their new name, the Pure Fusion Collective. Again, the Pure Fusion Collective. That sounds like some type of a WWE Supercard reference meets some type of an energy drink, some new energy drink that's out there. We got to do better than, boy, that name just, woof. That's all I got to say. That is just, woof. That's the best name we could come up with. I would have been like, look, shout out to you WWE 2K creators out there, you fans out there. Can you come up with the best name for a stable? If you can, you'll win a $50 gift card to shop WWE. Right? I mean, come on, man. Just decent tag match from the ladies. Decent tag match. I don't know who won. I had to take a really important phone call during that. But I did manage to see Isla Dawn and Alba Fire attacking. You know, they pretty much were standing tall there. And I think next week we're going to be seeing a triple threat women's tag championship match between all three of those girls. Bronson Reed on the attack again. He warned Adam Pearce, yo, you saw what I did to Seth Rollins. Find me some serious competition. This is what happens when you don't give me what I want, when you don't pay me attention. You know, start appreciating me, start respecting me, or else I'm going to go ahead and continue to unleash my carnage. Well, Adam Pearce being a knucklehead once again because Bronson Reed chose a new opponent. This go round, it was the beloved R-Truth. Yo, you couldn't plan that out perfectly. So week 1, you've got Bronson Reed destroying the hell out of Seth Rollins. And as it is basically being said, hang on here, guys. Looks like the stream got interrupted, but luckily I am still recording, thank God. So let me see what's going on here with the internet here. Hang on. Thank God I had hit the record button because I did not feel like hitting the record button on the stream. But I said, no, let me go on ahead and hit the record button. So I'm glad that I did. Hang on a second here. Hang on here. Bear with me a second here, guys. I'm just trying to hurry up and hide the video on YouTube. Hang on here. Hopefully we didn't lose a decent amount of people here. I'm still showing I'm live. What's going on? No, I'm showing I'm disconnected. Yeah, I'm showing that I'm disconnected. Hang on, guys. Let me hook this up real quick. I really, really think I need a new computer at this point. So hang on a second here. I'm showing I'm still live. Hang on here. Nope, I'm no longer live. I'm no longer live. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's make this video private. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Because I got to make this live. I'd hate for people to tune in to what's available right now, and it turns out they're not watching the complete episode. So I hate to be adjusting this in real time, but I need to. Otherwise, okay, there we go. Let's mark it private. There we go. All right, now you guys got my undivided attention. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I hate this, man. You know, it's very weird because I'm still connected to the internet. No issues whatsoever with my internet. Like, I am connecting fine. I'm browsing different windows as we speak. So nothing wrong with the internet. I don't know if it is a OBS restream issue or what, but I think what I might start doing for the next couple of weeks, I think I will end up just directly streaming the show through YouTube just to see what happens. Because I got to be honest with you guys, one of the last times I had streamed directly from YouTube, I just had the direct YouTube to OBS connection. There were no issues whatsoever. So I am kind of under the impression right now, I won't know unless I do more tests, but I'm under the impression right now that, okay, it seems that maybe Restream is the issue here, and it's actually not the computer. So I'll keep you guys updated and let you know what's going on. But yeah, we're going to start doing it. See, the only reason why I use Restream, because I know some of my friends, they go, use StreamYard or that's like a whole new way of learning. I kind of feel, and I kind of really don't want to do all that, right? I kind of really don't want to do all that. But look, if they're not having those issues that I'm having with Restream, then it's kind of one of those, okay, you know what? I'm willing to consider XYZ. My mind, my ears are open. Let's see what's up. But I want to try to have it be as simple as possible. Restream's been very good, the past couple of years. But if I got to be honest, it seems like, honestly, for almost half of 2024, Restream has been kind of having issues here. And so once I'm able to figure out if Restream is the issue by doing it the way I'm going to start doing it with the next batch of shows, then it's kind of one of those, okay, so you know what? We're not going to do Restream anymore. But I like being able to stream the show on multiple outlets. But if the future of that, maybe would involve, okay, you know what? We'll just be live this way, and then maybe we could use the phone and just through the phone just connect this way to this outlet and this outlet. We'll have to see how that goes. But I like being connected live when we're out there and everything. So some other stuff from Raw, because we were still talking a little bit about Raw. I'm just thinking if there was anything else to mention in regards to the show. I'm just looking at my notes real quick here. Yeah, Bronson Reed picking up a win over The Miz, but destroying the hell out of R-Truth. I mean, you couldn't have laid that out any better. And if you want to get Bronson Reed over as this big, monstrous heel, then you're doing it accordingly, because you're having Bronson Reed destroy some of the fan favorites. So, look, if you were to maybe have Bronson Reed as far as like who's the next victim, okay, who's the next victim? If you maybe want to have the next victim be, I don't know, Otis, or you want the next victim to be Akira Tozawa, I would personally love to see Bronson Reed destroy the living hell out of Akira Tozawa. But whether or not it would get the effects of, no, please, he's so tiny, he's so little, let him be, no, that remains to be seen. I personally would love it if you had Bronson Reed destroy the hell out of Sami Zayn. I would so love it if you did that. But you definitely need to continue to go after the baby faces. I would even love to see Big Bronson Reed destroy the hell out of a WWE legend. But I like what's going on here. And I see some of the chatter that's out there in regards to Bronson Reed, where some folks go, yeah, but, like Vince Russo is a good one, who basically says, yeah, Bronson Reed, I mean, they're basically giving this guy the Nakamura. But see, there's a big difference between Bronson Reed and Nakamura, if I were to push back on what Russo had put out there. And that is the fact that, well, with Nakamura's English, unfortunately, is pretty broken. And the man can only go but so far. And you're talking to somebody that is a huge Nakamura fan. What they were doing with all the prepackaged stuff, incorporating, manga and everything. They were doing a phenomenal job with Nakamura, but that only was going to go but so far. With Bronson Reed, other than the accent that he has, as long as you utilize it in a way where he's keeping it short and to the point, he can be a devastating big man without a shadow of doubt. And I tell you what, he's been doing a pretty solid job so far. In my book, I see more mileage in a Bronson Reed run than a Nakamura run, being perfectly honest with you guys. But other than all of those things from Raw this week, pretty solid show, decent crowd. Here we are once again. Another solid crowd. Baltimore was bringing the energy last week. Texas definitely brought the energy this week. Pretty well-rounded show. Let's see what you guys had to say in regards to Raw. Let's go to Twitter at the RCWR show. I know it's now being called X, but I'm still calling it Twitter, goddammit. Let's see how you guys have voted. I am seeing a tie at 50% right now. Half of you are saying it was an average show, while the other half of you are saying it was an awesome show. Appreciate you guys that voted via Twitter. Let's see how you guys voted via YouTube. Going over to the post section right now as we speak. Hang on. I'm seeing 25% of you are saying average show, while 75% of you are saying awesome show. Keep the votes coming. Appreciate you guys that sound off. Appreciate that. So let's get into just a little bit of headlines, just a little bit of stuff that we can get into. First off, we lost a wrestling legend. As we were going into the weekend, we lost the Booker Man himself, Kevin Sullivan, who passed away at the age of 75. A lot of reports was being put out there inaccurately that he passed away at 74. He actually passed away at the age of 75. And when you look back on Kevin Sullivan, this is a guy, when he started going the satanic, sadistic, taskmaster route and all of that, you could greatly see the influence of the 1970s metal scene incorporated with his gimmicks. You could definitely see it. Of course, not just from 1970s metal scene, but the 1980s as well. You could definitely see in his characters the impression. You could see how he was modeling himself from key elements from Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, Anthrax, Motorhead, Judas Priest, Slayer. I did say Judas Priest, didn't I? Yeah, I said Judas Priest. Alice Cooper, that's the one. Kiss. You could see all of those incorporations there in Kevin Sullivan and how he was modeling himself and everything, because he was dubbing himself the Prince of Darkness and everything, from his feuds with Dusty Rhodes, the Road Warriors, Hulk Hogan, definitely my personal favorite. You think about his time with the Army of Darkness, the Varsity Club, Dungeon of Doom, right? The Dungeon of Doom, definitely for me, one of my favorite high points and everything. You think about his time in Championship Wrestling from Florida, of course, WCW, the Tales from the Territories, even the work that he was doing in the podcasting game. That's one thing that I wish, and I'm kind of kicking myself in the ass. I wish I would have listened more to his podcast with Conrad Thompson. I really wish I would have listened a lot more to the podcast. Look, we know back in July, Kevin Sullivan's family had created a GoFundMe, and they were letting the entire community know that, He had came down on hard times health-wise because he was at a signing, and then there was a accident that had occurred. It was pretty bad. What had happened. Details, by the way, on that is still a little bit sketchy. Only those that's like, immediately close to the family know what all had happened. But, there was a scary incident that had happened while he was at an autograph signing. He went to a nearby hospital where he had a bit of an extended stay as, his health had deteriorated. And then, just when you're thinking, okay, well, he kicked out, it seems like he's okay now. He's on the up and up. Hey, this is good. He suffered, some serious health ramifications from that and everything. But they were able to raise all the money that they needed to raise, to help him out and everything with the medical expenses and all. And sadly, just a couple of weeks after that, he passes away. And it's very unfortunate. This is a great mind for the business. Without a shadow of doubt, he was years ahead of his time, especially when it came to the whole, all right, look, I've got this gimmick, I've got this persona, years ahead of his time. And was definitely responsible for creating some really great fun moments in front of the camera, whether it was him in the ring or it was him behind the scenes as the booker man, laying down some fun, creative finishes and all of that. Definitely a well-respected, like, this tells you how well-respected Kevin Sullivan is. You won't find one person on social media that has shared thoughts on the passing of Kevin Sullivan. You won't find one negative thing out there said about him. From Crowbar singing praises to Karrion Kross to Hulk Hogan to the Game, Triple H, Paul Levesque, just praise upon praise upon praise upon praise. I still remember the craziest crap that was said years back when the Benoit tragedy occurred, which was, and go look this up. You can go look in the time machine, all that. The craziest thing I remember hearing back in the day was Kevin Sullivan was responsible for the death of Chris Benoit, Nancy Sullivan / Nancy Benoit, the child. And I just remember going, wait, what? How? Right? I just remember, and it put a smile on my face to see Kevin Sullivan involved in that episode of Dark Side of the Ring, where he finally had spoke his piece and everything, on that whole tragedy and everything. It made me smile because I knew he didn't have to do it. I knew he didn't have to silence the critics and all of that. But here he was, clear as day. Here he was. And I that put a smile on my face to see him, finally, try to debunk some of those rumors and everything. If you guys want a hearty chuckle, I remember, because I remember talking about it on the show a couple of years back, but Kevin Sullivan actually had appeared on an episode of Judge Steve Harvey. It was a kind of like People's Court, basically, okay? Like Judge Mathis. So Kevin Sullivan appears on this show, as does J.J. Dillon. J.J. Dillon took Kevin Sullivan to court, to Steve Harvey's court, because he wanted his $7,500 back that he loaned Kevin Sullivan as Kevin was trying to purchase a boat. And when Steve Harvey, Mr. I can't think of J.J. Dillon's real name right now, but he's like, hey, can you explain to me like what's going on here? And he's like, yeah, a handful of years ago, I had loaned Sullivan, $7,500 because he wanted to purchase a boat. And I said, yeah, sure, no problem. Just, pay me back, whenever. And then Steve Harvey's like, okay, okay, JJ, got you. Sullivan, like, what do you say to this? And Sullivan starts reading the definition of, I think it was whenever, right? And it's like, we're really going to go here? Like, seriously? And, it was revealed that they went as far back as 40 years, friendship, all that. And Steve Harvey did the coolest thing. He basically ruled in favor of J.J. Dillon. But on top of that had said, okay, look, not only is the ruling in favor for the plaintiff, but the court is going to go ahead and pay that. And Steve Harvey's whole thing was, you can lose a mother, you can lose a father, you can lose a brother, but the one thing you cannot do without in this world is a friend. Everybody needs a friend. That was Steve Harvey's whole message. And, some people will find it a little hokey dokey when they watch it and everything, but it's kind of funny, like, now that hindsight's 2020, you feel where I'm coming from. So if you guys want a nice little hearty laugh, I would encourage you guys to check that out when you guys get an opportunity. Other news that we can talk about here on the show, not really too much more we can get into, but I know Janel Grant has filed a motion to strike Dr. Carlin Colker's bill of discovery. Let me give you the 411 on that. So Janel Grant apparently has filed a new motion, as on July 16th, lawyers for the former WWE employee Janel Grant filed a pre-action discovery petition against Dr. Carlin Colker and his clinic, Peak Wellness Incorporated. Grant claims that she was sent to the clinic under the direction of Vince McMahon in November of 2019 and received treatments that weren't disclosed to her, including pills and IV infusions. We talked about that before, but I'm just repeating all this just to refresh you guys' memory. Colker reported, or responded rather, by filing a complaint and denied any improper treatment and citing numerous damages to his name and reputation from the accusations. Well, no duh. The complaint labeled Grant's actions as a smear campaign designed to bolster her well-publicized allegations concerning alleged sex trafficking and sexual assault by World Wrestling Entertainment, Vince McMahon, and John Laurinaitis. According to Post Wrestling, Grant has responded by filing a motion to strike Colker's bill of discovery and is seeking penalties. Vince McMahon filed a motion to enforce the court-ordered stay to prevent Grant from petitioning for the records. According to McMahon, Grant violated the federal stay by Grant violated the federal stay order by seeking discovery against Dr. Colker and Peak Wellness. His motion was denied on August 6th. Remember, on May 30th, Grant agreed to pause the lawsuit for 6 months while the federal investigation continued against McMahon. Grant's side called Colker's response a desperate and brazen attempt to silence a former patient investigating wrongdoing related to her medical care. So, that's where we are now in regards to that. It's just interesting to me that this continues to, hit these little bumps along the way here. Interesting that she is continuing to stay with this. I mean, I've been pretty consistent as well as some of my colleagues, which has been, look, if she's doing this and it's not about the money, it's not about the attention, if she's doing this because she is trying to have her day in court and she is trying to find and seek justice, then you know what? You're going to go all the way in, have at it. And it would appear that Grant and her team are going all the way with this. So it would seem as though as far as a settlement, that's something that they're not interested in. So more power to them. as this story develops. I think in the coming weeks, what we'll probably end up doing is, if Brandon Thurston and them are interested from WrestleNomics, maybe we can have them come on the show and talk more at great length about some of this stuff that's going on. Hell, even talk to Stephen P. New, see if he might be interested as well, coming by the show, and help really break this down for us and real layman's terms, and get their predictions, get their expert opinion on this and everything, because we're definitely getting into the weed of things here on this one. Hey, shout out to my people in the DC metropolitan area. I was not even aware of this, but not just to those in the DC metropolitan area, but to any wrestling fan that is looking for some fun wrestling to attend on the East Coast. Coming up on August 30th at the Entertainment and Sports Arena in Washington, D.C., you've got the NJPW event that's going to be going down. I was not even aware of this, because I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell? But yeah, NJPW, they're bringing an event out here. It looks like for the Strong Openweight Championship, Gabe Kidd defends against Leo Rush. Zack Sabre Jr. will face Titan. Trish Adora takes on Hanako. Dirty Works, Fred Rosser and Tom Lawler go up against the West Coast Wrecking Crew. Mercedes Moné will be in action. The NJPW Strong Openweight Tag titles will be on the line as TMDK defends against Virus and Henchacero. Meanwhile, the NJPW Strong Openweight Tag Team title #1 contenders match commences between Ishii and Hiroshi Tanahashi, taking on TMDK's Robbie Eagles and Bad Dude Tito versus Grizzled Young Veterans. Looks like it's going to be a triple threat #1 contenders match. And let me see here. Yeah, I'm looking at that. I'm going, wow. Let me see what was the name of that event too for you guys. Let me type in NJPW August 30th, 2024 to get the name of that. Capital Collision. I don't know why, but I was thinking something Collision, but it just wasn't clicking in my head for some reason. I was getting ready to say Capital Punishment, but yeah, it's there. NJPW's Capital Collision. It's going to be coming up in DC. So if you end up going to that event, let me know. As far as whether or not I might attend that event, it's possible. It's possible I might actually go to that event. If I end up going, I'll let you guys know. Also, shout out to TNA. Looks like they're going to be holding Bound for Glory October 26th, Detroit, Michigan, at the Wayne State University Fieldhouse. So I'm not sure when tickets go on sale, but I would think if tickets are not on sale right now, should be getting ready to go on sale for sure before the end of August. So other than that, that's pretty much it, man. Told you guys, been relatively quiet wrestling entertainment news-wise. And when you are in a position right now where I'm finding I'm pumping out more shows and we're covering more topics as the week progresses and everything, it makes, at times, by the time we get to the Monday show, much more looser and more shorter. So hopefully you guys appreciate that, because if anything, it should help you guys be able to go and check out more of our shows for on demand and on the downloads, right? Can't stress it enough. If you haven't subscribed, please do so you don't miss all the content that comes your way on a weekly basis. Make sure you are leaving those ratings and reviews for the show. I saw the analytics the other day for the shows on demand and downloads, the audio, and you guys are doing good. I was looking particularly at August, and I was comparing August to last year, and we have tripled our numbers. So that is fantastic. To everybody that supports the show, on demand and downloads. Thank you all so much. It just goes to show you that there's still a audience out there that loves their audio as opposed to being able to see the webcasts and all that. Appreciate you guys big time. Y'all are representing. I mean, right down to the point, I'm looking at the devices and how you guys are accessing the content. You guys are doing the Apple Podcasts. You're doing Spotify. You are doing TuneIn. You're doing Podbean. I am able to see definitively, okay, you guys are going here, which is great for us because we happen to work with advertisers from time to time that want to know what platforms are we hitting, what's the percentage looking like that's coming from some of those respected devices. And it's great to be able to show them the analytics and go, hey, here it is in black and white and everything. Speaking of advertisers, sponsors, want to give a shout out to our people. Shout out to the Grumpy Philosopher, Sage Advice for Successful Living. Pick up a copy on Amazon right now. Shout out to my friend Axiom of Alchemy, great artist. Check him out at axiomofalchemy.com. Got a store that you can check out through that link as well. Check out some of the artwork. We're brought to you in part by canaglobe.biz//sweet sensations. If you're trying to start up your own cannabis dispensary, no experience whatsoever, it's okay. These people can help. They will train you. They will help you with supplies, licensing. Everything is on the up and up. It's legit. Everything is 100% legit. You'll be able to start your own cannabis dispensary for as little as $500. Learn more by visiting canaglobe.biz//sweet sensations or call them at area code 702-767-0683. We're also brought to you in part by our friends over at toptierfinancialgroup.com. We're talking 15 years of tax experience. Let them put their experience to good use for you. Whether you need assistance in tax resolution, tax preparation, wage garnishment, bank levy release, tax lien removals, they do it all. Check them out, toptierfinancialgroup.com. Shout out to my guys over at ancientsupplements.store. That's ancientsupplements.store. If you're looking for vitamin supplements at a really great price, FDA approved, money back guarantee if you're not satisfied, they can definitely help you out. Ancientsupplements.store. Last but not least, shout out to my people at the Orange and Blue Glory Facebook page. Football season is here, and with that also comes the talk of college football. If you are a diehard Florida Gators fan, definitely the Orange and Blue Glory Facebook group page is a community you want to make sure that you are a part of. Appreciate all of these great sponsors. Shout out to friends of the show. Shout out to you, the listeners. You guys are continuing to represent. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys tremendously. As far as next edition, I think we might come on live on a Wednesday. I think we might come on after Dynamite is over and done with. What I'll do is look out for a poll sometime late Tuesday afternoon asking you guys if you would like me to come on back live to talk some more Dynamite. I was looking at the numbers the other day for the webcast stream and then for the show because I'm pretty sure I'm trying to think, did I put that show out for On Demand and Down? I don't think I put the Wednesday show out for our audio listeners. I don't think I did that, but I'll put a poll up exclusively on YouTube and you guys sound off. If you want a Wednesday night show where we talk AEW, TNA and all that, that will be your opportunity, right? Meantime, be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search the RCWR show. You can definitely get at your man on the Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, the RCWR show. And until next go round, my pretty babies, I'm wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I'll see you guys next go round. Adios, y'all. Take care.